Woodyard is charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide for his role in the 2019 death of Elijah McClain. On the night of his death, officers responded to a report of a suspicious person. They find the guy, they stop him, they detain him, they put in a chokehold on him because they think he's armed, and then EMTs inject him with a sedative, ketamine. Puts him in a cardiac arrest just a few minutes later. We've been listening to the testimony of an officer who came on the scene to help and talked about, as you'll remember, that very important recovery position for the victim. Let's listen to more of her testimony.
I want to clarify this position here. The recovery position is when somebody's shoulder is down on the ground and the other one is up in the air, right?
Typically, yeah, it should be on essentially the side of a person's head, so his head is facing away, which is how the recovery position should be. Typically, it'd be one shoulder on the ground and then one up higher. And then,
Here, his right shoulder is down right next to the grass, not up in the air.
Objection, Your Honor. Leading and testifying.
Sustained.
Describe the position of his right shoulder.
it looks mostly forward. Like I said before, I can't say exactly if it's touching the grass or not, but obviously his left shoulder is his right shoulder. I couldn't tell you exactly, but it looks more forward, and then his face is pointing away.
And I mean, Officer Ward, you literally have your hands on him. Can you tell this jury what position his shoulder was in at that point in time?
I mean, like I said, it looks mostly forward. I don't know how else to describe it, I guess.
I mean, is it in the grass? Is it a few inches off?
Well, like I said, I couldn't tell you from this video, and I don't recall. It looks to me like it's probably not touching, but like it's over. I'm not positive.
Okay. Is his shoulder up in the air like it's supposed to be in the recovery position?
It's not like perfectly above the other shoulder, if that's what you're asking. No.
I'm not asking if it's perfectly above.
It looks more, I guess, to me, more toppled over. Like I said, I just don't want to say something that's wrong if I don't know. I don't know if it's touching the grass or not. It looks like it's kind of like partially over like that, I guess. One shoulder touching the other one partially over.
Okay. You just described it as he's toppled over onto his stomach. Is that fair?
I don't know if his stomach is touching the ground or not. Like I said, his head is still turned away, so I don't know.
Officer Ward, is he toppled over onto his stomach?
I don't know. I can just tell you, I think he's at least partially toppled over. I'm not positive what his stomach looks like. I wasn't looking at it.
Officer Ward, you were in this courtroom 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
You sat in that exact chair.
Yes.
And you swore to tell the truth.
Yes.
Please show the witness her statement from 2023, page 121. Lines 14 through 16. Officer Ward, you were asked under oath. By here, he's fully toppled over onto his stomach, isn't he? And you responded, he does look toppled over. Yes, I read that correctly, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in the position we just saw in the video, is Mr. McClain in the recovery position?
I don't think fully.
Why are you hesitating about answering this question? Is he in the recovery position?
Objection, Order. Argument.
I'll allow it.
I'm not sure. I guess I really don't, I don't know how to answer that. I'm just trying to like not mislead. Like I would say the like typical recovery position would be the one shoulder up. And I think probably I would say if a shoulder's over, that's not the typical recovery position. So I'm not sure why I'm being hesitant. I'm just trying to not describe anything incorrectly.
I appreciate that. part of the reason that you're hesitating.
Objection.
Sustain. Ask questions.
Is your hesitation related to your relationship with the defendant?
No.
It's having no effect on you that you work with him?
Well, I wouldn't say it's having no effect on me, but not related to that answer.
So is Mr. McClain being held in the recovery position here?
Objection.
Sustain.
So is your testimony a moment ago that maybe partially he's not in the recovery position? Is that fair?
Yes.
You know, we often see refreshed recollection from 5 years ago, whatever. This was earlier this year, and this witness seems to be waffling a little bit on what she recalls from the scene and the recovery position. Let me point out, you know, we cover a lot of trials, a lot of different areas. This particular feed, which has great audio, is the courtroom feed. So they're a little wider shots, little different way to look at it, but we're glad to have what we have. And again, the audio is great. Catherine Lizardo is here, Michael Brown here to talk about this case with me. So, Michael, we have a wild card here, and I'll mention this because you brought it up, and that's the EMTs. Do you get the feeling that this witness doesn't really want to point fingers at them? She just seems to be kind of hesitant in a lot of ways.
Well, this is, you know, it's that the blue curtain, so to speak. You know, she's a police officer. The defendant is a police officer. And it's a common theme where you want to protect your fellow colleague, your police officer. And it's always, as a defense attorney, it's easy to blame the person that's not sitting at the defense table, i.e., in this case, the EMT. So that's probably going to be the way they're going to go with it. And they're going to utilize every one of the prosecution witnesses to the best they can to make them their own witness. And I think that's what we're seeing transpire here.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, Catherine. I think it's very, I think this witness is not helping her cause because she is being so waffling about, was he in the recovery position, was he not? We just saw the video. So, you know, the jury's going to see that as well. You just got to make a commitment there, because if the line is going to be drawn with what the cops did versus what the EMTs did, then she's able to help her fellow officers that way.
Yeah, she sounded so nervous and unsure of herself and what she should testify on that stand. And the jury are seeing this as they're watching her. I mean, we can't see her facial expression or most of her movements, but jury is closer to her there. So, and also what's interesting is she's not charged here like the rest of the officers who were at the scene and who were in physical contact with Elijah. So maybe that's one of the things why she's so extremely careful of what she's specifying there, although it's not coming across sincere, because she is wavering a lot, especially with that testimony of 2023 that she should have remembered still.
Yeah, it was a little odd to refresh such a recent memory. Hey, producer Juliana, can you put that 3-shot up again of the officers, just so I can identify those that have already been tried? You can see Rosenblatt there, tried and acquitted, and Roedema tried and found guilty. So just a bizarre setup for what is now the third defendant to be tried on this same set of facts. And of course, we will continue to follow this. This is the Woodyard case out of Colorado. Let's take a break. We'll come back more.